Hello, you absolute legends, and welcome to the Food Guilt Can Fuck Right Off webinar. It's a webinar. We don't count calories here. We actually just count moments. And today, this is going to be your moment. And this is your moment to finally flick that freaking middle finger at food shame. And it's your moment to take back control from that little voice in your head that says all of these types of things. You know what? You were good today, but then you ruined it. Or you ate that shit. Might as well start over Monday again. Or maybe you're not hungry. You know what? You're just bored again. And if this sounds familiar, well, today in this webinar, we're about to unpack all of that shit because you didn't sign up for this life just to spend your days obsessing over carbs and labeling foods and naughty or spiraling because you smashed a fucking Tim Tam during a 3 p.m. slump and you couldn't help yourself. Because this webinar, it's not on willpower. This is a fucking revolution today. And it's a rebellion against restriction, against punishment, and performative wellness culture, which I find incredibly toxic. Today, we're unlearning the shit that diet culture has essentially taught us over the years we've been alive. We're relearning how to eat in a way that supports our energy and our focus. And most of all, my second favorite F word, fun and real life. So today we are going all of those places and we're going there loud, obviously very proud and possibly still chewing because it is not about perfection today. It's actually about peace. And by the end of today's session, well, you are going to know exactly how to fuel your body and your brain, which is actually more important, without the guilt, without the rules or the shame spiral that actually has kept you stuck to this point in the first place. So let's fucking go. Now, I want to hit you with this little nudge of enlightenment straight out of the gate. You are actually never supposed to feel shit about eating, right? Food is fuel. Food is pleasure. Food is life. Yeah. And yet somehow we've been sold this bullshit idea that food is some sort of moral compass. You know, you had a salad, halo on your head, angel. You had a pizza. Oh no, you piece of shit. Better punish yourself with a double workout tomorrow and at least 16 minutes of fucking self-loathing. So I want you to stop right there, please, please. Because today, this is where we ditch the shame spiral for good. Today, we're talking about what it actually means to fuel your body with flexibility. And so we are going to be talking about a couple of things. Number one, eating in a way that supports your energy, your mood, and your hormones, and more importantly, your sanity. Number two, ditching the binge restrict binge cycle, which you're probably stuck in. Number three, understanding cravings without letting them control you. And number four, saying a big fuck yes to carbs, without mentally calculating how we're going to burn it off. And this is my fuck-free Flexi Food Framework in action, and you'll learn more about that later because big spoiler alert here, sorry, but your body doesn't give a shit about whether your snack was, quote unquote clean or dirty or keto as fuck. Your body just wants nutrients. Yeah. It just wants rhythm. It just wants enough. And it actually just wants a break from all of the freaking drama you keep throwing at it. And this is how we eat, right? In a way that feels good, not guilt-ridden. So it's not about being perfect. It's about eating like you give a fuck, okay? And about feeling better. So let's dive in. Now, if you've ever said, fuck it, after one slice of cake and then gone and demolished, a fucking tub of ice cream, half a loaf of bread and a packet of twisties just because the whole day was, ruined anyway, well, welcome home. If you've ever sat in front of a salad, you got your fork in your hand, tears in your eyes, and wondering how something so green could actually feel so depressing, well, this is your space here. Okay, you're not broken. You're just conditioned. And you know what you're conditioned to believe? That, food is either on or off, right? You're conditioned to believe that you're either being good or you're off the rails. And you're conditioned to believe that one single Tim Tam means that you've failed again and need to start again on Monday again for the 84th fucking time this year, right? Remember, there's only 52 friggin' weeks in a year. P.S. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to be real here. That cycle, yeah, it's very, very exhausting, emotionally, mentally, and also physically. And it turns eating into something that, should be nourishing and joyful and instinctive into basically an all-out war. And for what, right? So what, you can fit into friggin' some sort of ideal that was never designed for real human beings to live in with real lives, you know? Okay? So here's the thing about that. You didn't fail, right? The system failed you. That same system that taught you how to fear food, to moralize meals, and to measure your worth in macros and clean days. And so today, what I want to teach you is the antidote, because right here, right now, we are blowing that system to bits. We're going to be replacing it with something that actually works. Number one, flexibility without chaos. Number two, nourishment without obsession. Number three, permission without panic. Okay, it's time to reclaim your plate and your peace. And if you're ready, we're about to unfuck your food story. Now, before we get formal, I'm going to get formally informal for a moment. So if you've not met me, my name is Loz. I'm a habit coach. I'm the Mojo mentor, a nutrition nerd, ADHD fueled fitness junkie. If you can't tell by the speed of what I talk, very clearly ADHD. Diagnosed before it was cool, actually, in the late 90s. Fact. And I'm a very proud reformed Monte Carlo addict. So if you don't know what Monte Carlos are, they're those jam-filled, coconut-coated devilish biscuits that actually once had a chokehold on my entire nervous system. And no, do not regret them at all. But I totally understand how they fitted into my life. I'm also the creator of the Fuck-Free Flexi Framework, the Mojo method. And the Fuck-Free Flexi Framework is part of the Mojo method, as well as a few other things like the healthy habit hierarchy. And these are real-life nutrition systems that actually are designed for actual humans with real moods and cravings and hormones and kids and deadlines and the occasional emotional breakdown in front of the fucking pantry. Okay? And so the Fuck-Free Flexi Food Framework, it's shame-free, it's maths light, and it's fully sustainable. And it doesn't require you to cut out bread or fear bananas or measure your fucking peanut butter with a set of digital calipers. Because here's what I know for sure, right? Most people, they don't struggle with food because they're lazy or undisciplined. They struggle because they've been trained to mistrust their own hunger. They've been taught to tie their self-worth to weight, and they've been guilt-tripped into thinking that some sort of bad food choice means that they're a bad person. So I just want you to fucking stop, okay? That ends here. This today is your permission slip to eat without obsessing, right? To nourish without punishing. To live and to feel really, really great without attaching your value to the scale or the macros or whatever fucking bloody Karen from Pilates thinks about your leftovers, okay? We are breaking free from food guilt. No more shoulds. Stop shooting all over yourself. You're making a fucking mess. No more, I'll start again Monday. No more food spreadsheets that want to make you cry into a chia pudding, Like just a flexible system that actually works with your body, not against it. So I hope that we've got some sort of deal today, because that's what we're going to sort of dive into. So how did I end up here delivering a webinar called Food Guilt Can Fuck Right Off, wearing activewear that hasn't seen actual cardio today, without any lashes on, and talking about Monte Carlo biscuits like there's some sort of trauma response? So let's rewind a little bit. We're going to rewind back to those glorious days and that era of my life when I genuinely believed that gluten-free meant healthy. Okay? That time in my life, right? I was deep in wellness culture. I'd cut carbs, quit sugar, shunned everything that wasn't organic or alkaline or blessed by a fucking Himalayan monk, right? And in this obsessive pursuit of health, right, deliberate quotation marks, I then discovered these gluten-free fake Monte Carlo biscuits. So I ate low FODMAP. You can read into that if you don't know what that means. And basically one bite and I was totally hooked, right? Because technically, they were allowed, right? They were gluten-free. So I thought, right, they have to be good for me, right? Big wrong, right? Because what followed was me sitting on my couch, numbing with overwhelm with an entire packet of those coconut-coated fucking bastards, convincing myself that I was basically still on track, right? But that wasn't nutrition. What that was emotional chaos wrapped in a fucking biscuit wrapper, okay? So here's the thing about this situation is that I wasn't being stupid. I was doing what many of us do, and I was reaching for food because I felt out of control in my life. Now, at this time, this is what my life looked like. I was 1, burnout. 2, running a 7-figure family business, which I started from scratch with my dad. 3, dealing with some really severe autoimmune diseases. And 4, trying to fix myself with kale supplements and sheer bloody willpower. And instead of real nourishment, what I was doing is I was chasing this clean eating perfection, and then I was binging behind closed doors. And I would be the first to put my hand up and admit that that's where I was. And I wasn't eating Monte Carlos, right? I was actually self-soothing with rules, and I was binging on guilt. And, you know, I know I'm not alone in that, right? So, you know, if this is you, raise your hand silently, if you've ever labeled food as good or bad, if you've eaten perfectly, all fucking day only to lose the plot at night, if you've punished yourself with cardio for eating something that's a little bit naughty, if you've had one of those last suppers, right? We have that last supper binge before we start on our next diet on the Monday, right? Yeah. Yeah, I know you're there, right? That's not failure, that's conditioning. And that's why I built the Fuck Free Flexi Food Framework, okay? To give people like me and you a new way. And that is part of my signature programs that form the Mojo method, right? And with the Fuck Free way, it doesn't involve shame snacks or food spreadsheets or guilt-fueled cardio sessions because life is messy, right? And nutrition needs to be flexible enough to handle that. So I've basically done it all. Raw food, clean eating, paleo, keto, fucking calorie counting, bikini comps, right? I once weighed spinach leaves like they were made of gold, like literally. I had a travel scale for almonds. Yeah, it's not wellness, is it? It's fucking hostage situation. But back then, I was grieving, I was going through a lot of stuff, and I thought I was healthy, right? I thought I was disciplined and strong and in control. Nah, man, fuck, that wasn't health. That was obsession. Obsession dressed up as discipline. Now, I had disordered eating disguised as wellness, and I was actually diagnosed with something called orthorexia. Don't know what it is? Google it, okay? And the wildest part of this whole thing is I still didn't feel good. I was, number one, exhausted. Number two, binging in secret. Number three, shaming myself with every fucking bad food under the sun. And number four, punishing myself in the gym to make up for it. And here's what finally clicked, right? My psychologist at the time said something profound. She said, our bodies are not a battleground, Lauren. That's my name, by the way. They're actually a really, really smart, brilliant biological machine. Okay? And food, right? Food isn't the enemy. It's not a test. It's not a reward. It is just fuel. And the fuel that lets me, lead this whole movement that I'm guiding you through today. It helps me lift heavy and laugh loudly and live fully. And that mindset shift, like that mindset shift alone, it just what changed everything for me. And it's exactly what we're going to rewire, because if you're still seeing food through a lens of morality, good, bad, clean, cheat, you are not fueling your body. You know what you're doing? You're judging it, policing it, you're starving it, right? And you fucking deserve better than that. Your real health, it doesn't come from perfection. It comes from peace. So let's make peace with your plate today, right? And start fueling yourself like the badass that you actually are. All right, so let's talk about food guilt, okay? And not just what it is, but what it actually does to you, because you cannot dismantle what you do not define. So food guilt, right? We talk about this all the time, and we don't really know what we're really on about, right? It's the toxic belief that what you eat determines who you are, okay? Not what you do, not how you feel, who you are, right? Like, eating a cookie suddenly makes you weak or undisciplined or bad, right? And guess what? That crap didn't come from nowhere. It's been drilled into us from all sides of our life. We've got diet culture telling us that thin is good, that full equals failure, and that hunger equals discipline. We've got social media friggin' wellness, toxic, wankery bullshit, showing us at all sorts of shit, on our daily doom scroll with perfect smoothie bowls featuring captions like, treating my body like a temple. I don't know why I put that voice on. And meanwhile, you're shoving fucking rice crackers into your mouth over the sink. We've got this good food versus bad food language, and it makes us believe eating a fucking single white potato makes us like some sort of criminal, right? We've got unhealed trauma and emotional coping, because this is where food becomes safety and comfort and punishment, and maybe you're experiencing all three in a single day. And then we've got labels like cheat meals and clean eating and guilt-free. Oh, the fucking irony of the whole thing, right? As if eating needs to be morally justified with fucking branding, right? So then what happens? What do you reckon? We internalize it. We turn food into moral measurement of our worth. We walk around thinking, I was good today, or I'm being bad this weekend, I'm going to have a naughty weekend, or I deserve a treat, or you know what, I'll just make up for it tomorrow. Fucking newsflash. You don't need to earn your food. You need to eat to function. And this guilt that you're carrying, it's not helping you. It's hijacking your brain and your body and your bandwidth. And you know what? The data actually backs this up. In a Healthline survey, 80% of women, they said that they feel food guilt at least once a week. The National Institute of Health, they reported that 45% of people have dieted 5 or more times in their life. And the majority of those people, they regain the weight. Statistics also show that 1 in 3 women link their self-worth directly to their food behaviors and their body image, okay? And that's just the people that admit it, right? So it's time to burn the fucking guilt, not the toast today. Because food is not a personality test, and hating yourself into change has a 0% chance of being successful. So we're going to break the shame cycle, right? We're going to be rebuilding something real. So let's shift that lens completely, because here's what I say very loudly and unapologetically. You didn't fail the diet, okay? The diet, wait for it, the diet failed you. Now, the plan that told you to eat 1,200 calories while running a business and raising a family and going to the gym and holding in your rage while Karen from finances breathes too loudly at work, okay? Yeah, right. Obviously, that was never going to work, okay? The app that told you a banana with too many carbs, but protein bars with 12 ingredients and no salt were fucking ideal also failed you. That coach who gave you a cookie cutter meal plan that didn't account for your fucking menstrual cycle, your stress levels, or the fact that you're a fucking human being with cravings. Again, not you. That was them. Okay? The diet industry, it banks on your shame. It banks on your insecurity and your repeat business. Call it subsidized dependency. They sell you restriction. Restriction disguises structure. And then when your body rebels, well, guess what? They blame you. So here's a radical thought. What if food isn't the problem? What if your body, in fact, isn't broken? What if your cravings are just communication, not character flaws? Yeah? What if we stop trying to control food? And what if we started learning how to actually work with our body? Well, that's what the Fat-Free Flexi Framework and the Mojo method is built for. Okay? Not to teach you how to eat less, but how to help you eat in a way that actually works for your hormones and your habits and your lifestyle and your sanity. Now, this isn't about losing control, okay? It's about building trust. So I'm going to keep going with this, right? So we're going to talk neuroscience for a second. But please don't stress. I'm going to keep it really real and really brief. Every time you feel guilty about food, your brain actually enters a stress loop. Okay, your body perceives guilt the same way it does a threat. Like you're about to be chased by a fucking tiger, but instead of sprinting, you're just regretting a muffin. Okay? And then what happens, okay? 1, cortisol spikes, right? That is your stress hormone if you didn't know. It floods your system, puts your body into fight or flight, and you know, what do most people do when they feel anxious? They eat. Okay? Not because they're weak, but because their brain is literally trying to soothe the threat, even if that fucking threat is just a hot cross bun. Okay? And then what, right? You feel bad. You feel bad for eating. Guilt then spikes again. Then you restrict, right? You restrict and you hold on tight. Okay? And the next day, you snap. And then you binge. And then voila, welcome to the guilt, restriction, binge fucking loop. We restrict, we crave, we binge, we shame. And then we restrict again, and then we repeat. So sound familiar? Yeah? This loop isn't about a lack of willpower, okay? It's a physiological stress cycle, and it's completely fucking exhausting. But here's the good news, right? You can actually flip the script, right? You can build awareness, not anxiety. So I'm going to show you what that sounds like. Instead of telling yourself, I was bad today, maybe try, you know what? I made a choice. What do I need to do right now? Okay? Instead of, I shouldn't have eaten that. Why not? Okay, what was I really hungry for again? Instead of, I'll be good tomorrow. Why not try, how can I feel really good now? Can you see the difference here? What we're doing is we're moving from judgment to curiosity, and we're going from control to connection. And this is how you build trust with your body again. Not through food rules though, right? Not through fucking MyFitnessPal and spreadsheet micromanagement, but through 1, listening, 2, respecting, and 3, responding. And noticing your needs without labeling them as wrong, because your body is not the enemy. Okay, it's not out to sabotage you. It's just been trying to speak. And this time, you know what? This time we're actually listening. Okay, so we're going to talk about some solutions here. Now, you've heard the origin story. I've told you, I've unpacked the guilt. Okay, And you've sat with your shame spiral long enough, okay? Now, I'm going to show you how we rebuild. So I've talked about it, the fat-free flexi food framework. This is my tried and tested lozified way to fuel your body without fear or obsession or maths anxiety, right? Now, this framework, it's part of the Mojo method, and it's designed for real humans, not macro robots or beige influencers whose full-time job is eating grilled chicken out of fucking Tupperware that they've hidden in their handbag, okay? It's flexible and it's sustainable. And it even works if you are, number one, neurospicy and forget to eat till 3 p.m. If you eat dinner standing up with a toddler on your hip. If you have absolutely no desire to ever clean eat another fucking protein ball again. Okay? So I'll break down the framework. Number one, it includes the thing called the 80-20 rule. This is where we eat whole and nourishing foods 80% of the time. Think veggies, lean proteins, healthy fats, hydration, fiber, color, and crunch. Okay? And for the other 20%, you live a little, okay? Because life is too short not to eat cake at a fucking birthday party or nachos at a girl's night or a croissant the size of your face on a fucking Sunday morning, okay? It's not about cheating. This framework is about living. And when you stop labeling food as bad, you stop attaching shame to eating. You actually get freedom, but with structure. And that's the magic. So number two, it includes the eating order hack. And this is one of my favorite blood sugar hacks of all time, okay? Because the order in which you eat food actually matters a lot. And we start every meal like this. We have plants first, think salad, sauteed veg, raw carrot, whatever. Like fiber creates fullness and slows digestion. Number two, then we have proteins and fats. That's second. And these keep you satisfied. So they also keep you steady. Think eggs, chicken, tofu, nuts, avocado. And then we have our starchy carbs last. Yep, bread, pasta, rice, crackers, anything that you want to include there, that's last. Okay? And this one little trick with your food order, it, A, reduces blood sugar spikes, B, increases energy, C, decreases cravings, and D, stabilizes your mood like a fucking legend. And it's really simple, right? It's very, very powerful, and it's not talked about enough. In the framework, number three is that you track what feels good, not just what's clean. And this is where we ditch the spreadsheet mindset. Now, you don't need to obsessively track calories if you're tuning into how your body responds. So you can try journaling or checking in like this, ask yourself, did that meal energize me or did it drain me? You can ask yourself, did I feel bloated and heavy afterwards? You could ask, was I actually hungry? Was I just bored or sad or lonely or stressed or some other emotion that's made me want to eat? Because food tracking should actually give you data, not anxiety. Because we're not chasing perfection, we're just chasing awareness. And this is about building trust with your body again, not building a fucking Excel file of guilt. Number four, okay, in the framework, we drink our protein. Because most people, especially women, they're under eating protein by a long shot. And I get it, right? It's hard to smash down a steak when you're on the run and stress or low on appetite. So we make it really easy so you can drink it, right? Giving yourself some quick wins. Protein water, okay? You can use collagen protein in fruity punch flavors, really, really easy. Try and avoid artificial ingredients. I have some I recommend. We can use collagen hot chocolate. Once again, warm, chocolatey, nourishing, great inside a coffee. You can do smoothies, adding a scoop of protein in a blend with frozen fruit and nut butter and chia seeds and greens powder. You can mix a scoop into like oats or yogurt or even coffee, right? So why this works is it supports muscle repair, it helps hormones be balanced, and it boosts satiety. It also curbs cravings like a boss. And if you add some greens powder in, it can be great if the only green thing you've touched this week was your fucking reusable Woolies bags, right? And number five, this framework, we help you understand how to read labels without the panic. Because food marketing is a total scam, right? They'll slap fucking natural, fat-free, guilt-free, wellness approved on anything these days. Health halo, greenwashing, whatever you want to call it. A really healthy muesli bar with 18 grams of sugar and 4 types of fucking seed oils, bloody hard pass. So we simplify label reading, and when you flip the back for you're reading what's in it, we want to look for a few things. Protein content. We want to aim for 10 plus grams in snacks. Added sugars, please check the ingredients list, not just the grams. Sugar hides under names like maltodextrin and rice syrup and evaporated fucking cane juice. Okay, fiber content. Fiber actually keeps you full and it keeps your gut happy. We're going to look for hidden oils, canola, sunflower, soybean oils, inflammatory Very, very inflammatory, and they're snuck into everything from crackers to fucking salad dressings. And if the label has 52 fucking ingredients and you can't pronounce 39 of them, it's probably not loving your insides. But we don't want to panic, right? No all or nothing, no food fear. We just want to make educated choices that leave us feeling clear, not conflicted. And that's the fuck-free Flexi Framework in action, right? Simple, adaptable, and actually doable even if you're busy and distracted and over the fucking food fads. And this is how you fuel your body without fear. All right. So I just want to clear something up as we get to the end of this. You're not hungry, okay? Maybe you're just dehydrated. Seriously, you'd be amazed how many times we reach for a snack when our body actually wants a fucking drink. Why? Because your hunger and your thirst signals come from the same part of your brain in the hypothalamus. So when you feel, foggy, cranky, or snacky, or the, I want something but I don't know what feeling, that's sometimes your body saying, hey, dude, could I just get some water? So let's decode this, right? Some symptoms and signs that your dehydration is masquerading as hunger include headaches, low energy, sudden cravings for salt or sugar, maybe irritability, okay? Maybe you're just snapping at your partner because you just need fucking chips. Random mouth hunger, that urge to chew something, but you're actually not hungry. And yeah, sometimes that feeling is hunger. But way more often than you think, it's actually your cells crying out for hydration. So what do? Here's my top tips to hydrate better. So 1, start your morning with 500 mils of water before coffee, before tea, before doom scrolling. Number 2, electrolytes, right? Especially if you're training or sweating or drinking lots of caffeine. Number 3, sip consistently all day. Please don't wait till you're parched like a fucking rice cracker. Number 4, use a cute water bottle you actually want to carry. Now, I don't care if it's glittery or collapsible or shaped like a dumbbell. You can buy dumbbell-shaped drink bottles at lozlife.com, PS, my shop there. But if it makes you drink, it's doing its fucking job. Pro tip, leave your bottle in line of sight, right? Desk, car, kitchen, bench, next to your phone, because visual cues equal behavioral cues. And if you're really struggling, set a fucking alarm, drink the damn water in your fucking calendar, and I'm not even joking, right? Because hydration, okay, it isn't just about preventing headaches or dry lips. It's legit one of the biggest performance hacks that you're ignoring. And hydration, it helps with lots of things, right? Digestion, glowing, dewy skin. People always tell me how good my skin looks. Feeling full, which is satiety. Focus and cognitive performance. Mood, emotional regulation. All of that from water? Yeah. And it's free. Go figure, right? And if there's one simple nutrition upgrade you can make today, it's this. So please drink the water, then decide if you're hungry. So we're going to bring this home to you because we can talk about food gear all day. We can unpack the science, slay the myths, roast the fucking marketing, but real change, right? That happens when you get curious about your story. So I want you to take a minute, fucking pause this if you have to, grab your notebook, your phone, random piece of paper, whatever you need, and we're going to do some stuff. What's your food story? Okay, I want you to write it down. You have a minute. I'll wait here. Okay? Then you can come back to this when you've written it down. What is your food story? Because when we know our food story, awareness is powerful. Okay? Great. But tools, right? Tools are how you action the awareness. And so here it is, straight from my own fridge, my brain, my slightly chaotic handbag. Okay? This is my toolbox for food freedom. And these are very real functional things that I use every single day, every single day to eat well without spiraling. No spreadsheets, no macros, no toxic fucking tracking apps. Just really simple, repeatable rituals that actually make food easy. So I want you to pick what works for you. Number 1 is a hunger scale, a 1 to 10 check-in. So before every meal or every snack, I pause and I ask, am I physically hungry? Or am I stressed? Or am I bored, tired, emotional, procrastinating? Okay, you don't need to eat perfectly, but checking in helps you respond, not react. And then rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being, oh my God, I'm fucking famished, or 1 being, actually, I think I'm just reacting to something habitually. Tool number 2 is meal templates. So no complex recipes or meal plans from fucking Mount Olympus, just simple guides to help you meet your protein requirements for the day and smash your fats and your carbs without feeling overwhelmed. And if you can make a fucking poke bowl, a nourish bowl, if you can throw together a wrap or order a meal using that combo, you are winning. And less decision fatigue means we get more nourishment. Tool number 3 is weekly prep. Now, this is not about spending 4 hours in your fucking kitchen on a Sunday with a label maker and 27 fucking Tupperware containers, right? It's about peace, not perfection. Now, what can you do this week that sets you up for calm? Can you chop some veggies? Can you cook a batch of protein? Can you have some grab and go snacks on hand? Because if it saves future you from hunger, it counts. Tool number 4 is safe treats. Because look, I know what happens when I don't have something satisfying around. I'll fucking raid the pantry like a possum at 10 p.m. Okay? So now what I do is I plan for treats. I have dark chocolate, protein bars, bliss balls that don't taste like fucking regret. Okay? It's not about restricting, it's about creating safety. Tool number 5 is that 80-20 filter, because every decision goes through this lens, okay? We ask ourselves, is this mostly nourishing? Or is it one of my life 20% delicious detours that I get to go on, okay? And what this does is eliminate shame, no tracking, it just gives us perspective. And finally, tool number 6, right? I think, what would future me thank me for? Okay, it's a bit of a test, it's a game changer. So before I reach for that third coffee or drive through at 3 p.m. or that family-sized chip packet, I ask myself, what would future me thank me for? Would it thank me for this? And if the answer is probably not, I pause, right? I reconsider. Not because I'm not allowed, but because I want my energy more than I want that dopamine hit. Now, that's not control, that's consciousness. Now, this toolbox of things isn't about rules. Feel free to rewind and pause and slow it fucking down. But it's about support, right? Use what fits your life, okay? And then ditch what doesn't. It doesn't apply to everyone, because food freedom doesn't mean nothing. It means doing what works for you. All right, so quick reality check before we wrap up. So everything we've covered here today, the tools, the shifts, the mindset flips, that's just the beginning, right? Because real change, it doesn't happen from one hype-filled fucking webinar, even one run by me. It happens from repetition, from practice, from integration, and from support. And that's what the Mojo Dojo Academy, my online learning facility is built for. And if today lit a spark, okay, well, the Mojo Dojo, it's what keeps that spark burning without the burnout. So inside the Mojo Dojo, you'll get the full fuck-free Flexi food framework with meal guides and eating templates and real-world strategies for emotional eating and binge cycles and everything in between. You'll get tools to decode cravings and scan labels without spiraling and rewrite your old food stories. You get access to the library of Loz, every script, tracker, cheat sheet, checklist, and guide that I've ever created, even those ones that I made at 2 a.m. in a protein bar fuel frenzy, right? You'll also get deep dive monthly masterclasses like this, but minus the character limits and with even more punch. You'll get monthly Loz and Found sessions, aka Ask Me Anything, and the really sassy live Q&As that we do every month. And you'll also get monthly challenges. And this is, stuff that you can actually live all this shit that we've learned through. So we're not just learning it and forgetting it by next Tuesday. And all of this, it's for under $50 a week, which, let's be honest, is about the cost of one fucking confused trip to the supplement store or maybe 3 clean treats that taste like punishment. Yeah? It's a good investment. So instead of that, you get a blueprint for food freedom built by someone who's actually lived it. So if you're ready to stop obsessing and if you want to feel confident with your food and in your skin, if you want to do life your way with less shame and more energy and zero weird rules, well, the Mojo Dojo is your next move. So no pressure, just an invitation. Would love to have you there. QR code, here it is here. Okay, so I just want to leave you with this, right? Food is not a moral issue, right? You're not a better person because you ate fucking quinoa. And you're not a worse one because you have Macca's at 2 a.m. in the back of an Uber while holding your high heels, right? You are allowed to eat. You're allowed to enjoy food. You're allowed to feel good in your body even before you fucking fixed it, right? You don't need to earn your meals. Okay, you don't have to punish yourself for having a fucking appetite. You are allowed to say, you know what, no thanks to restriction. You're allowed to say no thanks to shame. In fact, you're allowed to say no thanks to the guilt that's been weighing more than your actual body. So the next time food guilt taps you on the shoulder, flick that bitch off, okay? And instead, say this, you know what? I trust myself because I'm fueling, I'm not failing. So you know what? Smash the Bikkie, sip the protein shake, hydrate your damn soul, and build the fucking fuck-free life that actually works for you. Because you know what? You're not broken. You're not even bad with food, okay? You're not too far gone, right? You're actually bloody brilliant, right? And you just needed a new strategy, one that doesn't come with shame or spreadsheets or starvation. And now, after this webinar, you've got that. So let's rebuild your relationship with food, one flexible fuck-free habit at a time. Now, I'm going to bugger off and you're going to feel like the badass you are. And if anyone tries to guilt you for eating a fucking Bikkie, you know what? Eat too. But before you go, if you're not quite ready to dive in headfirst to the Mojo, I do have a snack size entry point for you, literally. So you can say hello to the Snack Attack Rehab Challenge. It's a 14-day, no shame, high impact mini reset that'll help you stop letting cravings run the show in your life. And in this challenge, we unpack emotional snack triggers, we rewire your 3 p.m. autopilot munchies, and we create go-to snack stacks that actually satisfy without the sabotage. And it's fun, and it's flexible, and it's fucking effective, and it's only $47. And here's the kicker, right? If you do decide to join the Mojo Dojo, this challenge and every single challenge every month is already included at no extra cost. But look, if you're just dipping your toe in, you can do this challenge on your own. In fact, we have a challenge every month that you can do on your own. Check out my social media and you can see if it fits in real life, okay? Not just in a webinar, because sometimes you need a little rehab before you can commit to the whole transformation. So I can't fucking talk anymore. But if you are ready to reclaim your snack life, you can come and join the challenge. QR code is here. But, you know, if you love it, you'll love what's waiting for you inside the Mojo Dojo. So remember, smash the Bikkie, sip the shake, you know, and remember the only thing that needs cutting out is actually the food guilt. Thanks for joining me. Ciao for now.